Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins in 2002, in Los Angeles. Ray is an FBI agent in the counterterrorism division, and together with his partner Jess, stalks a mosque. Where, according to one of the informants, the perpetrators of the terrorist act are gathering. After the infamous events of September 11th, the country is in a panic. Citizens are buying chemical protective suits, and eyeing Arab-looking people with suspicion. Jess and Ray are not only partners, but also good friends. Ray gets along well with her young daughter Carolyn, and visits Jess often. As the years have gone by, they have built a special relationship, but have remained only friends. Next, we meet Claire, who joins Ray and Jessica's department, as an assistant district attorney. Ray immediately falls in love with his new colleague, but tries to keep his distance, because she is already engaged. On another work day, an anonymous phone call comes in, informing the detectives of a girl's body found in a dumpster, near that same mosque. The body had been treated with bleach on the outside and inside, probably to hide genetic material left behind after abuse. When Jess, Ray and colleague Bumpy arrive at the scene, they discover that the victim has no ID or wallet. Therefore, they cannot even identify her. In addition, the killer did not leave any clues or fingerprints. However, when Ray goes to see the body, his breath is taken away. He recognizes that the dead girl is indeed Carolyn, the daughter of Jess. Stuttering, he informs her of this. She initially cannot believe her ears, but she then runs to the dumpster, and screams madly, cradling the body of the girl who will never return to her arms. The woman buries her daughter, and tells Ray that she wants to go out of town, to recover from the tragedy. Also, as a relative, Jess does not have the right to investigate the case, but Ray promises that he will personally take care of everything. It turns out that the crime occurred between 10:30 and 11 o'clock. The only clue is that the watchman noticed a gray van that entered the parking lot at 10:30 and left 20 minutes later. Later, the authorities discover that the car with this license plate was stolen 3 days ago. On the other hand, Carolyn's car was parked in the bakery nearby. Before leaving, Ray helps Jess sort out her things. He found several photos in which the department was pictured at a company picnic. Carolyn was with them at the time. The photo shows the girl being stared at by an unknown guy. Ray shows the photo to his colleagues, but no one recognizes him. The man does not understand how it is possible that an unknown person came to the picnic. Everyone remains silent, infuriating him even more. Using a program to combat terrorism, he finds the stranger's identity. It turns out to be a man named Marzin. Ray is already determined to arrest him, to proceed with the questioning. However, the district attorney, Morales, is in no hurry to arrest him, saying there is not enough evidence to do so. The fact is that Marzin is an FBI informant, who helps them by providing them with valuable information about criminal groups. If Marzin was arrested, the FBI would have no more information about the terrorists, and they would blow up more houses, and hundreds of people could be injured. Marzin was invited to the picnic that day so he could feel like part of the group, even though he does not officially work with the FBI. However, Ray has no intention of leaving things as they are. So together with Bumpy, he breaks into Marzin's house, but they find nothing suspicious, except a hand-drawn comic book by Marzin himself. After a while, Morales calls Ray into his office, and reprimands him for breaking into the suspect's house. Ray had no right to enter the guy's house without a warrant from a judge. Marzin realizes that his house has been searched, and is now under investigation. Jess returns to the office, and hears about a new suspect in her daughter's case. Despite Claire's protests, Ray shows her Marzin's comics. She carefully analyzes it, and finds a clue. The comic makes it clear that the suspect is a baseball fan. Later that night, she meets Bumpy and Ray at a baseball pub, and says that sooner or later, all baseball fans will show up here. She does not want to kill Marzin, because death is not enough for such a monster. She wants to catch him and let him rot in prison. Sooner or later, he will come to this club, and she will wait for him here, every night. Ray finds out the date of the next baseball game, and goes to the stadium with Bumpy. They manage to spot a familiar face in the crowd of fans, and try to arrest him. Claire freaks out. They have nothing on Marzin, so they cannot arrest him. Moreover, Marzin is an FBI informant, and his lawyer is already working to free him. Fortunately, Ray manages to arrange an interrogation with Marzin. However, the young man does not understand why he was arrested, and says he does not know who Carolyn is. He claims that he was at the picnic for 10 minutes, got bored, and left. He also tried to run away from them at the stadium, because he was afraid of being seen with the feds, as he is an informant. Claire notices that the boy is observing the cleavage of her blouse, and decides to take advantage of it. She provokes him and says, According to the expert report, Carolyn was killed by a big strong man. An analysis of her internal organs showed she had a different reproductive organ than normal. The murderer was also very clever. He planned the whole thing very cleverly, so it is obvious that Marzin is not suitable for the role. She says that a brat like him could not have done it. Eventually, he becomes enraged, and tries to attack her, and confesses everything. To protect his colleague, Ray pushes the boy away, even punching him a couple of times. Later, Morales lets Marzin go, using the marks on his face as proof that the confession was obtained by force. Morales is unwilling to put the most important informant in jail, and besides, there is no evidence against him. Things get worse when the discovery of the gray van that smells of bleach comes to light. Claire and Ray arrive at the scene, but when they see the burning car, they realize it is the work of the district attorney. At this point, Jess is absolutely devastated. She remembers that Carolyn did not want to go to that picnic. She had a date, but she had insisted saying she was going to school soon, and they would stop seeing each other. Ray is completely disillusioned with the justice system, and leaves the FBI, to devote himself to another field. 13 years pass, and Ray reappears in the department where he worked. Claire has become the district attorney, Jess is the lead investigator and burned out, and has never come to her senses. In all these years, Ray has not forgotten Carolyn's case for a minute, and asks Claire to reopen it. She will need help, since she no longer has her badge. Ray found Marzin, who served 10 years for armed robbery. Recently released early, he even changed his name to Clay Beckwith. Ray found him in a database of prisoner photos, looking at thousands of faces each night, and million white males in all. Since his face and age match, now all he has to do is find his parole officer. Claire fears it's just another cross-section. They found similar people about 20 times, and each time they found one, Jess's condition worsened, because it was not the real Marzin. Ray convinces Claire to reopen the case, presumably for one last time. This time, he is sure that it is definitely Marzin. He asks Bumpy to find Marzin's parole officer. It turns out that Marzin was last seen 2 weeks ago. He loves horses, and often goes to the nearby racetrack. So they will look for him there. Jess meets with Ray, and says that she is surprised that, even after 13 years, Ray has not given up looking for the killer. He admits that he was supposed to meet Carolyn on that terrible day. He was supposed to buy a cake for a surprise party for Jess. The girl was waiting for him at the bakery, but at the last moment, he canceled for work reasons. Ray and Bumpy arrive at the racetrack, and looking at the stables, notice Marzin. Ray asks him if he remembers him. Marzin notices policemen, and starts to run away. He manages to hit Ray in the ribs with a shovel and escapes. A local boy, Luis, says Marzin comes here often, and promises to call Ray if he shows up again. Ray meets Claire, who tells him she is married, and doing well. Ray says he had a great girlfriend, but they broke up because she was not like Claire. The woman asks why he did not ask her to come with him when he left the FBI. He says he did not want to take away her good position and career. Instead, he spent the 13 years imagining that she might say yes. At that point, he receives a call from Luis. When Ray arrives at the racetrack, Luis says the suspect has just pulled away, and describes his car. After telling Bumpy on the phone what happened, Ray sets off in pursuit, but Marzin is waiting for him, so he is not alone. A firefight breaks out, the feds come to the rescue, including Jess, and one agent is killed. They manage to arrest him, but it turns out that he is not the real Marzin, but just a car thief. At this point, Jess invites Claire and Ray, who are out of town, to her house. She believes that Ray has gone too far, that everyone has gone too far, and as a result, a colleague has been killed. Jess blames herself for everything, and gathered everyone here. She is grateful to both of them for everything, but it is time to stop. That boy could not have been Marzin because he has been missing for 13 years. She reveals that she personally killed him, and buried him in the backyard. One night, Marzin came to the bar. The woman realized that Morales would not let her arrest him, and she was left alone with her debt to her daughter, so she killed him. She asserts that any verdict would satisfy her. Claire, as district attorney, decides to keep quiet. Later, she will return Carolyn's case to the archives, and no one else will get it out of there. Ray accompanies Claire home, and she says she thought if this was all over, she would be relieved, but it was not. Ray returns to Jess's house in the morning, and on the way, he begins to put the pieces together. He recalls that the woman said Marzin's death was not enough. In addition, she disappeared suddenly, saying she needed to be alone, and then moved out of town. Without finding Jess in the house, he notices her heading toward the barn, with a can of dog food. She pours the food into a bowl, and feeds it to her daughter's killer, Marzin. He can no longer be called a human. The 13 years he spent in a cage as an animal have erased all humanity from his face. Seeing Ray, Marzin begs him to ask Jess to talk to him. However, Ray pulls out a gun, loads it, and leaves it there. Then he takes the shovel and goes to dig a grave. After a while, a shot is heard. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.